Everybody, my name is David Morgan. I'm Arlington's Environmental Planner and Conservation Agent. The April 2nd, 2026 public meeting of the Arlington Conservation Commission will be conducted in remote format, consistent with state legislation that extends remote participation in public meetings till June 30th, 2027. This meeting is being recorded and the recording may be made publicly available. Putting in a link in the chat where you can find all the meeting materials for tonight's meeting. Please note that the Zoom chat feature may be used for questions and comments that contribute to the Commission's procedures, and if it's used otherwise, may be disabled at the chair's discretion. We usually have a public comment period that follows each hearing, but there are no hearings tonight, so nothing to weigh in on in that regard. Chuck Tirone is our Commission Chair. He facilitates tonight's meeting. We always take roll call vote for any decisions, and we begin with a roll call for attendance. So start over to you with Chuck with the agenda and attendance.
Thanks, David. So I'll start with the agenda first. It's 7:02, April 2nd, and we're going to start out with meeting minutes. And then correspondence. Discussion items include the escrow for Dudley Street. Don't think that's ready yet. AECom restoration area letter and enforcement order for Dudley Street and Mass Ave. Then we have our liaison reports, water bodies, CPA, trees, SIMS, and an administrative report. There are no hearings tonight, and so we should, once we get through 66 Dudley Street, we should be on our way to a quick evening. So with that, I'll turn to roll call attendance, and I'll start with David Kaplan.
Present.
Brian McBride.
Present.
David White.
Here.
Chuck Tirone is here. And Sarah L. Farrow-Franco.
Present.
Associate member, and Associate member Eileen Coleman.
Here.
And Nathaniel Stevens, Susan Chapman, and is that it? Are not here tonight. I think I got everyone. So our first item on tonight's agenda is the minutes, and they are from March 19th, 2026. So David Morgan, can you put up those minutes?
There we go. Jackie took these minutes. I know Nathaniel had a chance to weigh in, and Susan did as well. Of course, Nathaniel announced his retirement at that meeting. He had some wordsmithing to add to that announcement there. Minor word changes, clarification about Susan Stamp's comment as a member of the tree committee. This was our discussion of the fishing line working group and so forth. And here Nathaniel clarified a couple of pieces of the riverfront redevelopment standards that he was making points about with regard to 10 Cottage Ave. I guess this is the last bit. Susan had some comments there about the Reed Street property, just clarifying language about the potential of development in that location. And that too was an early meeting. That was only 8:30, before 8:30 that we adjourned. So if there are any further changes to note or discussion to have, happy to take that up.
If not, we can take a motion to,
Sorry, Chuck, one quick little thing. I don't know if it's important, but yeah, I reported the Elaine Carter was looking for an amendment to the vandalism laws or bylaws for the parks, and that she was rejected in that effort, but they've given her a second swing at it. So maybe that's more for us than it is an amendment to the minutes. The minutes are what they are, I guess, but just FYI.
Yeah, that's good. We can add that update to this meeting's minutes.
any other comments? Or motions?
Motion to approve as amended.
Second?
Second, Brian McBride, David White,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
Brian McBride,
Yes.
and Chuck Troney says yes. Great. And moving right along, correspondence received is available to the public. For a full list, contact conservation agent, and he will, I'm not sure if you're still providing a link, but he'll help you out. If you can't find some of our correspondence on our website, we have Thorndike Place, we have a Fish and Line Working Group, and we have just regular correspondence for the Conservation Commission. Okay, so moving on to discussions, we have on the agenda, our third item would be a vote to release the 34 Dudley Street escrow. As I understand it, we're still waiting for material, and that is not going to move forward tonight. So I'm going to move right on to the next item, which is item number 4, and it's the ACMi DCR restoration area letter. It's the Mystic River outfall mitigation. And I think David, do you want to give a little background on this? And then I'm gonna kind of follow up with what I think should happen after we hear about this project.
Great. So this pertains to an order of conditions that was issued several years ago. It's number 91302. It was for the restoration of 9 outfalls at Mystic River and Lower Mystic Lake by DCR, and we entertained a certificate of compliance for that work back in 2023, toward the end of the year, and it was rejected because there was only a 50% survival rate of the plantings that were put in as mitigation. So they've proposed a new planting plan. It's pretty robust. Chuck, do you want me to walk through the details here, or do you want to just summarize and discuss?
Yeah, no, I think it would be important that you walk through the details on this.
So in the first place, this is a terrible scan, but you can see Mystic Valley Parkway there. Actually, let's see if I can highlight. Does that even work? Yeah, there's Mystic Valley Parkway. And this is the other side's where you get up into Medford. This is the start of the Mystic River. So Lower Mystic Lake, screen north, and then the bend, of course, is the start of the river. They're proposing planting this area, which is a decent amount of space, with the following. There are 30 1 to 2 inch caliper trees, red oak and red maples, and then 150 shrub or small tree species that would go in. You can see the species there, all straight species natives, etc. All told, as I said, something like 150, maybe 200 individuals going in, all quite small, but the proposal is to basically fill that area. I checked with DCR about the use of this space because there's a forthcoming notice of intent that we'll hear not anytime soon, but in the years ahead, which would connect the Minuteman Bikeway to this path along Mystic Valley Parkway and then on into the other municipalities. And part of that proposal, as it stands, includes a pathway roughly like that to connect with the sidewalk that's here, and then they'll extend that and make this more park area. I was concerned that this restoration area would get disturbed by that project, and they clarified that this is outside of the limit of work for that proposed project as it stands, so they don't see any potential conflict. Right now it's all grassed and would be replaced by understory and some canopy trees. I think that's the extent of it, but happy to answer any questions as we talk it through.
Yeah, let me know if there's any questions. David White?
People walking on them or things, other damage?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure why the initial plantings failed. I mean, I think it's a combination of just low survivability and drought conditions and also some trampling.
That's my next question, watering.
Yeah, so I think they would need to protect it, and I think they would also need to provide watering in order to make sure that they all survive. So that's something that we might request of them. They didn't describe that in the proposal, they just outlined the plantings.
I think we should ask them to protect the plants and water them.
Yeah, I'd raise my hand for the exact same topic, David. Yeah, what are they going to do differently this time?
Yeah. To be quite honest, it seems like their approach is plant more so that they meet the survivability quota, anticipating that many will die off.
They can all die.
Yeah, I would agree, of course. I mean, these things are alive. We don't want to just throw them out there to die. And maintenance is important, so I'd be happy to respond with these concerns and say, when you bring it to the commission for a discussion, include a maintenance plan, and they'll be much more likely to approve it.
Yeah, just something to ensure greater survivability.
Yeah, so David, I'm a little bit confused. I thought this was their attempt to get the certificate of compliance.
It will be, but they have to put this in and then monitor for 3 years to ensure that survivability rate's accomplished. So there's
When
still a
does the
couple years
maintenance
out.
plan come to the commission?
That'll be the next question is, you know, if we say that this plan is something that the commission would entertain, I'd go back to them and say, submit a O&M plan and you're off to the races. And then it'll be 3 years till they get their COC.
Are they going to install any kind of watering or, I mean, I think it's highly unlikely. We got an estimate on doing some watering on a couple spots in Reading, and it was more expensive than to plant. So
Yeah, same.
I'm not sure that's going to go anywhere, but I think that they could plant them and see what survives, and we could get lucky and have a good season.
I mean, if it's a drought season, they should probably do something, but I don't know what we can ask them to do.
It's kind of ironic since they're right next to a river and have a water shortage.
I know.
Maybe a solar pump.
Could you do that? Is that legal? I don't know.
They probably could.
I think you need a Water Management Act permit for that.
Yeah. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink.
All right, so yeah, so they couldn't meet the commission's expectation on their request for a certificate of compliance, so they've come back with the mitigation plan that looks pretty substantial, and the concern seems to be about survivability. This micromanaging is a good comment, but again, they still have to meet the standards, so I'm not sure that we should stick or stop moving forward on this just because they don't have a water management plan. What my thought is since we already have an order of conditions, they've already been here, we've looked at this plan. Between Jackie and David, they can watch this thing develop. I'm sure Susan will be down there also, and when it's ready and that includes the management plan. David is welcome to put that in our next packet, but I don't think we need to approve it. I think David's capable of doing that. And we'll see these people again when we're looking at a certificate of compliance request.
Yeah, I agree,
So-
Chuck. It should be an ask, not a requirement. So, and David is perfectly capable of handling that.
All right, David, so I
Make it
guess
happen.
this looks like it's administrative approval.
I will grab the letter and make sure I follow up with them next week.
They can also mulch the area better to preserve water in the soil. So more mulching might be a simple thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe compost leaf mulch, but I wouldn't necessarily want to throw a bunch of bark down there on a restoration area.
Mm. It's not
Anyway,
true. Okay, are we good? We're gonna move on to the next one. Item number 6 is the Water Bodies Working Group, a discussion with David White.
Okay, well, we're progressing with the spring plans. We have some contracts set up. And I think, we all set, David, with the contracts?
We're still working on Spy Pond, but the proposal came back from SWCA, has been revised and resubmitted to them as of earlier this week, and I expect probably start of next we'll have the final draft in hand, and then it's just upstairs for signatures. And that will be timely because we will be looking at mid-April, maybe the second half of the month, to begin treatment. So we're basically right on time.
Good. And Hills Pond and the res are all set.
Yes, those are totally set.
Great. Okay. The Park and Rec Commission is forming a water bodies working group. There's a document in our folder about that. It's
You
an
mean
advisory
the
group. The Park and Rec
fishing line working group? Is that what you're talking about?
Fishing line working group, they call them.
Yep, you're right.
So it's purely advisory. There's a copy in the documents for us to look at. And they're looking for, I'd say them, it's pretty restrictive what they can do, but their basic goal is to protect wildlife, water bodies. So anyway, so it's I've tried to recruit some people for it, and there's we are somebody from this commission is also on their list of people to serve on that group. And anybody who wants to volunteer to serve in that group, let me know. Maybe.
Sure, I'm gonna cut in right there. Just because I don't want you most people don't know about this, but I was able to convince Susan Chapnick to take on the role as liaison for the Conservation Commission.
Good. Okay.
I felt like she would be a good candidate for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons was because she was there at the beginning and seemed to have the most concern about this, so it was able to fit into her schedule. So, as you said, David, the Arlington Fishing Line Working Group charter was sent out to the commission, was sent out, and then I think it's in our packet. And so
It is.
they highlight some goals that they want to do, and and they include non-ban alternatives. And the commission
Very strongly, no
is,
ban alternatives.
yep, and there's an advisory commission, and they have to report back to the Park and Rec uh, if they want to implement any of these rules or regulations that they want to do. So they're just an advisory group. I still think it's going to work. I think the town manager helped us all a lot with this moving forward, and now we're looking at a next step here. I know David Morgan is going to put together a cleanup. I was talking to Susan about that too. It seems like before the Leafs break out, we only have a month, David. So I hope you're working diligently on putting that together, even if it's just the people I'm looking at on this screen. So I think we got to get out there instead of saying, darn, I couldn't get it done. Um, so yeah, it's a great start. I expect a lot from it. I think everyone will learn about it. There's a couple of areas that always come up. Not only this spot here at Monotony, but there's a spot next to Spy Pond, or in Spy Pond, over by the high rises where people are sure that you're not supposed to go in there, let alone fish. So that's a big discussion point. I don't think we can solve that from the Conservation Commission standpoint, but I know it'll come up at this fishing line group, and they'll be able to talk about what's needed over there. So I'm pretty happy with how this worked out and how Susan stepped up to the plate and was able to fit this in her very busy schedule.
Great. That's very good. I think she's the right person to do that.
One question.
Let the minutes reflect that we thank her for it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I just a question, if this is right time. We all surprised that non-ban was written in there. I thought this would be more of a holistic review of what the pond needs and.
It's their document.
Yeah, but I know that Chuck and Susan were involved with the town manager, and maybe there were negotiations I'm not aware of. So I was a little surprised to see that was a presumption that a ban was not one of the appropriate solutions.
So their recommendations, bullet on item number 4, bullet point number 1 says non-ban alternatives, but the last bullet point in number 4 says limitations, and then it says the group does not have the authority to implement fishing bans or modified town bylaws without commission's approval. So it seems like it could come up. And
I think the group has no authority other than what the Park and Rec allows them to do.
So throughout that, and I know, we all have different takes on this. Throughout this process, I was always wondering with a band, what are the steps after you have it banned? What are you going to do? And that was really never answered. But I'm sure everything that we have happening now, signage, fishing line receptacles, trimming the trees, educational program, all those things would have been part of what they came up with during the band and the discussion. So it does seem like we're on our way. And Brian, I want to let you know that we had town attorney here, and basically it fell on his interpretations, we don't have the authority to stop fishing on this pond.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that would have been my preferred solution personally, would be just to ban fishing there. And I see it's gone in a different way, and that's fine, that's the way it goes.
Or perhaps just no fishing areas rather than a ban. That's a possibility too. Might be.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to sort that out. I mean, for the people that fish, I know that during different times of the day, you want to be in different areas of the pond, depending on light and where the warm and cold water is going to be. This is not, high-end fishing pond, so maybe it's more,
Recreational.
yeah. So maybe it works better to have just a few fishing areas on this pond, but anyone who's really fishing and trying to catch something is going to look at the sign and follow that lead. But I'm interested in the updates. I guess they meet once a month, and it's going to. Let me see the dates were on it. So March through November of 2026.
Good.
So, all right, David White.
I'm curious about the cleaning up process. Are those groups being organized and what areas? I know Spy Pond does it on their own. We could
So let's
recruit
put
people.
David Morgan on the spot and talk to us about
I'm
this.
just saying that people might be
No.
able to help out. Let us know.
Yeah, well, let's find out what David's doing about this because it's been a while. I just want to know if it's going to happen or not, David. What do you think?
We're still looking for a date to coordinate with the Friends. We've inquired a couple of times about setting something up over there, and they haven't
Oh,
come
this is for
through
Hills
with
Pond. Okay.
recommendation. Yeah, Friendsman and Army Rocks. We have a new rep from the Friends group on the Water Bodies Working Group.
Yes.
So I think part of it is, transition. Part of the delay is that transition. We don't have our sort of usual stakeholder in that group making a decision about it. However, Jackie and I have both been in touch with them. We're just trying to coordinate an actual date. I think you'll remember that initially they wanted to just focus on a fishing line cleanup rather than a general event. So they might be taking it back to the drawing board saying, how do we coordinate a larger cleanup? We'll see. And we could do a commission event of our own accord and not bother with the coordination with the Friends group on a larger cleanup. And we could just focus on the fishing line removal if that's of interest.
So we want to be out there before the leaves pop because it would be easier to spot the fishing line and remove it. So that's why the tight time frame. And I think if we had enough people on the commission and then they could bring people that they know, we should have 10 or so people there to do this. So maybe that might be the way forward.
I wonder if cleanup has happened this winter. Are there fishing line debris about the pond now?
It's a good question. I know that the Friends group has periodically been out there cleaning up.
Out there, yes.
Same with Spy Pond. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the state of the pond. I haven't been over there in recent months. I was going to say, in addition to the coordination that we've been doing, I talked with Recreation about it. They said, we don't need a special event permit or any such thing. It's, just go ahead and do it. So at least that's, there's no red tape between us and doing this event.
You know what we
Let's
need
involve
to
the Friends
clean
group if we can.
Sure. Did you say it would be better with the Friends group?
I think so, yes, if we can.
Yeah, well, except that they're not answering and there's only 4 weeks left. I mean, in reality,
Let me know. I'll push some people too.
you're in charge now. Okay, David White, you you and
Let me
David
know what's
Morgan.
going on. I'll just push some buttons for.
Well, yeah, David White, if you can do something to help us out. I'm not sure we need 30 people.
No, not
I,
many, not
I I
many.
think we just need a few people
Half a
and to
dozen even.
figure out how to get the fishing line out of the trees, how they did that the last time. We're not going to be climbing the trees. So that would be good. And if we needed to buy something to have those available. But if
Well,
David, if you could work with David Morgan, that would be much appreciated. And
I think
we
Spy
look
Pond
forward to
also has
a
some techniques
report
that they worked out.
at the next meeting for some dates.
Yeah,
And if you have something come together sooner, send
yeah.
out some dates
David and
sooner.
I will talk.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's move on if that's the fishing line update and water bodies working group update. So CPA committee liaison, anything there, Brian McBride?
No, nothing, Chuck. No news.
Right. And tree committee, Sarah Alfaro Franco.
No updates yet. The next tree committee meeting is next Wednesday.
And we don't have a Sims update at the meeting because Nathaniel's not here, but we have administrative report and I asked David to, well, Susan also, but she had me write the email. So I asked David to look into filling Nathaniel's position. We wanted to get that going right away. So I sent an email to David asking him about social media. It sounds like we can come up with our own post and have it posted. And so I asked David to put something together that me and Susan could review and then approve to go on social media. David Morgan also has one applicant already, and he asked me my thoughts. So I'd like to hear from the commission on this. So we do have one person, but I wanted to just open it up to the entire town. As anyone knows, these positions don't come up that often, at least in the Conservation Commission in the last several years. And so I thought that maybe we would open it up to the entire town to get more of a pool of candidates and then review that pool that submits applications. So that was my thought. Susan is not available today, so she didn't join in on that conversation, but that was my direction. So I see some hands up. So at that, I'm going to go with David White. So speak up.
I think a larger pool sounds like a good idea. I also push for some legal expertise. That's a big spot that Nathaniel fills now. So
Mhm.
that's my thought.
Yeah, so the post would say, that we were looking for certain people. Not everyone can apply, but preference towards these professions. David Kaplan.
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with you and David White. Larger pool and being specific about what kind of subject matter expertise we're lacking and trying to fill those voids.
All right. Yeah, and we also don't know exactly when Nathaniel Stevens going to leave. It may be the end of the term, but it may be when we have a candidate that could step into his shoes. So that's kind of where that's all at. And I know I just took that totally away from you, David Morgan, so you can you can fill in whatever we missed if there's anything to add.
No, I think that's great. Like you say, just one applicant so far that didn't even come through the call that the town has issued. So there are still folks out there who have yet to see the message and potentially respond. So hopefully we'll get a few more in the door.
Yeah, Dave, just so I can get you kind of on the record with the commission, are you creating a post that we're going to send out? Or is there one already out there? Or is there two separate things? Something's on the town web page, and if we wanted to do social media, it would be something you would put together.
Right. Yeah, it's the last of those.
Okay.
We advertise through the town notice and the town website, all open committee, commission, board positions at once. And so ours gets in a list of open committee positions. I think there are a handful currently. So if we wanted to really bump it up, we could ask the public information officer if she would do a designated post for Concom. And we would specify, for example, we're looking for legal expertise, we're looking for a landscape architect, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Environmental attorney, landscape architect, all that, all good. And also others. So, all right. David White, you have your hand up.
We want to review the applications and make recommendations, or just let the town manager do that?
So, the thing that's, I was questioning Susan about this. It seems like Susan's been involved, her and Nathaniel Stevens, and I didn't even know that. I don't know if anyone knew this, but apparently Susan and Nathaniel have been reviewing all the applications that came in the past years.
Oh,
And out of those two would recommend who should move on to the final process,
good.
and then recommend one for appointment. So I'm assuming we can do it any way we want now, if you'd like to mention a way, because I think it had a lot to do with Nathaniel being the chair, but now that I'm the chair, I think I'm more of a committee guy. I think that we could look at everyone ourselves and make those decisions if that's what you want to do. Or we could just keep it with me, Susan, and David.
I'm
Any
easy either way.
preference? What's that?
I'm easy either way.
Either way. All right, well, let's see who comes in and we'll bring it up again and let you know. Maybe it would be, if there's too many to bring to a meeting, it might be better to, knock down the list a little bit. Okay, I get my marching orders on that one. So I'm going to move from this discussion, if no one else wants to speak on it, to the enforcement order for 66 and 66R Dudley Street and 993 Mass Ave. And I know that we have Al Gala here and Evelyn LaRusso, who is the owner applicant, and then Nicole Ferrara, also a consultant representative. So Al, if you want to catch us up on what's been happening on this project.
Sure. Good evening.
Oh, sure.
Good
Please.
evening, commissioners. My name is Al Gala from Gala Simon and Associates to represent our client of SNR Realty Trust on 66 Dudley Street. I have upgraded the site plan, and we also have LEC that prepared a planting plan for the project, and we have Nicole Ferrara to talk about the plan a little bit later. I would like to share my screen at this time, if possible, just to go over the details of the plan. Bear with me a second. Here we go. So after the meeting of February 5th, and got continued to today, there's been a few logistic issues, but here we are. We have since taken we originally proposed a gabion wall, 2 gabion walls, but have since replaced them, proposed them now to be just simple stone walls. It's pretty much the same quality and look as the existing wall that's on the property line. A couple of reasons for that. One of them, it provides a greater distance from the trunks of the trees to the wall itself, and therefore it will impact the roots a lot less. It is also a simple wall to build. These walls only are less than 4 feet. So paving walls are typically, they start at 4 feet, the cages, and go from there up. So we thought this would be good. So the height issue is provides for this type of wall. We also, on our plan, you'll see this square shaped here, hazed. This is the area that we are proposing to remove, impervious area. It tallies up to about 757 square feet of impervious area removed, and it includes a portion of the easement and this adjacent area also. And this is in preparation for what you'll see on the planting plan to provide a nice vegetative buffer, and also to reduce the amount of stormwater that goes onto the brook. On detail number 2 here, we have also provided a detail for the fence. The fence panels will be 4 feet in height, and there'll be a gap on the bottom of 8 inches to allow for wildlife habitat to meander through. We also added the erosion control to our plan. I think that was omitted previously, and that is this line with small blocks, and you'll see it following up through here. We have one line on the bottom of the brook and another line up on top here. So that's the erosion control. We added a note to remove the chain link fence that's existing here in the areas where we're proposing to install the wood fence. The maintenance and of the proposed plantings in wall, we will, or our client will obtain authorization from the condominium association to perform this work, and we have forwarded the plans to them. They've reviewed them, and they didn't really have any comments on the proposal. So that will be coming forward, maintenance agreement, which our client will undertake. That is the understanding. And now I would like to pass it to Nicole Ferrara to talk about the LEC plan, the planting plan.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. Nicole Ferrara from LEC Environmental. I'm going to share my, oh, no, Al, you pulled it up. Perfect. We have prepared our restoration plan to go along with Al's plan, and we took a look at the site a few weeks ago. We did notice that currently there's, a decent amount of mature trees in the area, so we designed our planting plan with that in mind. You'll see specifically we're proposing to remove all those impervious surfaces that Al had mentioned, and there are 3 areas totaling 970 square feet that's going to be proposed to be planted. It'll be a variety of native shrubs. We have 7 species on our planting plan, and 45 shrubs in total. The easement does have to be kept free of woody species, so we're just proposing the seed mix, which is the partially shaded area mix from Ernst. And that seed mix is also going to be applied within those other 3 planting areas. We have the planting area next to the fence that has plants proposed on both sides of the fence. We did notice there are existing shrubs there that the LaRussos are hoping to keep, some boxwoods, a rhododendron, things like that. So we're proposing to plant additional shrubs in those gaps between the existing ones. And then the rest of the vegetation where the plants are going to be proposed is going to be graded, so that'll be kind of a blank slate to install those species there. Lastly, we're proposing a grass slope on the 2-to-1 grass slope yep, thanks, Al. That's going to be reseeded with a custom grass seed mix. We included the specs in the bottom right corner there. And that'll be from Ernst Conservation Seeds as well. We're proposing to stabilize that slope with a biodegradable netting, and then any other exposed areas with the jute or core netting as needed, just to make sure everything's in place and, especially within that flood zone area. We did specify that any Japanese knotweed that may migrate into the restoration area be hand pulled. Just repeat hand pulling. We're not proposing any herbicide use. I believe that covers the planting plan. Happy to either turn it back over to Al or the commission for any questions.
Thank you, Nicole. So I'm just going to show my plan, back to my plan, and answer any questions the commission might have.
You're muted, Chuck.
Yeah, I just was saying that it's been the first time I saw all the plans with the plants on it and everything, and it's really taken shape, and I appreciate all the work you've put into it. I think I don't at this point. I have some questions, but I wanted to hear what David's thoughts were, because I want to make sure that he's satisfied with this, because I know that he was reluctant on some aspects of it. So David Morgan, please speak up.
No, I agree with what Chuck said. I think it's really taken shape and looks great. The question that I had was about the mixes. I know there's a bunch of sort of mid-coastal Atlantic ecotypes in there. I wonder if we could swap it out for something closer, like New England at least. I was looking at, oh, it's not ours to suggest what you use. Y'all know the ropes, you know how to do it.
Yeah, there's certainly other, part sun and shade mixes and other mixes from Ernst. If the commission prefers one of those, we can definitely swap it out.
Yeah, I mean, my concern would just be as close to New England natives. I mean, the commission's definition of native is specifically the ecoregion that we're in, and that's probably not going to be where all of this stuff gets sourced and grown from, but if we can get relatively close, like New England in general, that would be preferable, I would think. But it's not my call, it's the commission's. I'm just making a suggestion.
Yeah, I think that the commission would follow your lead on that, David. And Nicole, I would hope that we can make changes tonight and then see if we can move this forward. And so I wouldn't want to have any suggestions about coming back to have the commission decide. So is there a reason why you can't use the New England seed mix? Or would that be fine if you used something from that group?
Yeah, certainly that would be definitely fine. There's plenty that are very similar to the partially shaded, but more specific to New England.
Okay. So David Morgan, I think since this is a enforcement order, you would have to note the type of seed mix that you want in the enforcement order, but also stated here tonight. So if you want to look it up or whatever, or get the one that you want, and you can suggest it as a condition, see if the commission agrees. Any other questions on this planting plan? I had a question, Al. A couple of questions just about maintenance. So the maintenance agreement, how long does that last for? How long does this, will this area be maintained? Was there any thought behind that?
My thinking would be until the plants get well established, that there'll be maintenance. If there's a large storm event that the brook overflows, and perhaps delete some of the plantings, or they get washed out and they have to be replaced. That would be on a continuous basis.
Sure. Well, we usually ask for on planting plans 3 years, and then we have a survivability, but this is an enforcement order, so I think I'm not sure we'd have to discuss the survivability and the percentage on that if it even applies. But I would say you're looking at 3 years at least
Yeah.
for the maintenance plan, but the maintenance agreement, how is that in perpetuity? This is the one with 993 Mass Ave where they allow 66 Dudley to maintain this area. Do you know any details on that?
It's my understanding they are on board with this plan, and our client Evelyn LaRusso will be proposing a maintenance agreement with them. So
Okay, so you don't have that yet.
I don't have that. I think that can be provided to the commission in, I don't know, a couple of weeks from now. It's really be more of a document signed between both parties.
All right, so yeah, my thought is maintenance agreement is almost like the right to take care of this area, and even if it grows in, there's going to be that invasive monitoring that has to happen, which would be beyond the 4 or the 3 years. So the agreement, I don't know if they're going to give you something like in perpetuity, but I'm wondering how long they're going to allow you to do this. So it is kind of one of the reasons why we probably couldn't move forward on this, because it doesn't seem to be, even discussed at this point with 983.
Right. I think, but that will be worked out, and very, very, very soon.
Does anyone have any comments on the plant, the amount of plants, the where they're at, if it's enough or if it's not enough? Another Nicole question from me would be the slope is 2 to 1, and I know you're going to put down some sort of jute netting in there. I'm not sure if you've had a lot of success, and um, I'm wondering if you would want to put like little tiers in there of the like a log, like a coconut log or something in there to kind of make terraces all the way down so you could establish the planting areas. Um, I don't know what if you've had any success in a 2 to 1 slope.
Yeah, we proposed the biodegradable netting with the, kind of fact in mind that the area may have to be reseeded twice if, the seeds don't get fully established the first time. Hydro seeding is also an option as well for a steep slope, helps the seeds really get into the soil. Terracing is also a good idea, but I wonder if we might try the first two options and see how that holds out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you'd probably want to keep an eye on that area. Hopefully runoff doesn't get directed down that slope, because that would certainly be a problem. Is it jute netting that you're going to use? Is it seeded? Does it have seeds impacted in it?
Typically, no. We have a special seed mix on the plant, so that'll go down first with the jute netting over.
Okay. I see that David Kaplan has his hand up.
Yeah, thank you. No, I think this plan has really evolved. It's come a long way. It looks good to me, and thank you for all the work that's gone into it. Just some nitpicky stuff. I think, David Morgan's comment was, I think, sort of spot on. It's that we have some design goals here. We don't necessarily want to be in a position to dictate what, seed mixes. I like the idea of doing something more native in New England, but we have design goals we need to meet, like an established root zone and perpetuity. We've done some slope restoration work where the carex has done really well and ferns, but if they're using a seed mix, definitely more native and something that's going to form a robust kind of long-term root zone to keep that slope stabilized and come back year after year. So, again, I think there should be a little bit more discussion, maybe back and forth between David and the landscape architects that are working on this, just to make sure that we're not dictating something that might not succeed. But everything else, no other comments. I think, as native as we can get, and sourced is the goal. But I think the massing looks good, and it's a vast improvement over what was there before. So thank you.
All right, any other comments from commission members? So this is an enforcement order, and so there's no process to open it up to the anyone attending tonight's meeting. But I think that and the chair has the chair. I think that I know that someone just put a comment in there. Maybe they would want to just raise their hand and let us know what they think about. I think it said something about pollinator gardens. Anyone want to speak who's attending tonight's meeting on 66R Dudley Street? Seeing no one raise their hand. All right, David Morgan, we have something that's very close to being, workable with the Conservation Commission. I think that there's a few things that we still need to manage. One is the maintenance agreement, and then the slope and how that's handled. Again, like David Kaplan advises the commission, we don't want to get into means and methods, just understand that that is also supposed to be stabilized as part of the final sign off of the enforcement order. And then the same thing would go with the any of the seed mix that are chosen. We don't want to get in front of your choices, but native. So it sounded like we may be at a point where we can turn this over to David Morgan and say that the commission accepts this plan and you can move forward with it with the contingency that the maintenance agreement is I don't know what to think about any help there, David Kaplan. I mean, we're going to look at the plans for 3 years, but that agreement, I mean, I don't expect 993 to walk across the stream and take care of this area. So I hope it's, in perpetuity or something that they can take care of this area or something's worked out in that. Do you have any thoughts on that, David Kaplan?
I do not. I think I'm not sure what the realistic expectation of any kind of maintenance beyond sort of a 3-year establishment period is. And we don't really have any good longitudinal studies, I think, on any of the projects that we've sort of overseen so far to see what the long-term success of some of these projects are. But again, I think
So we would say at least a minimum of 3 years. It sounds like from what I'm hearing from you, 3 years.
I think that's reasonable. That's what we, put in our orders. I think that's reasonable to expect this out of the enforcement order.
All right. So that maintenance agreement has to, for Al or whoever's working on that, it has to be at least 3 years, and the longer the better, but at least 3 years. And David White, you have a comment?
I'm wondering if we should say not to be removed in some way, because after 3 years, they could do something else entirely different.
Yeah, it's complicated because it's on someone else's property. It's
And It's a water body, but
Let's put our agent on the spot. Is David Morgan out there? I don't see a pic. I don't see your on camera.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're kind of stuck on this. What happens after 3 years? Do you have any advice on how that can be handled, and any changes to this after 3 years? Or I think David Kaplan was saying, most of our orders, we have kind of precedent in the fact that our orders are 3 years, our mitigation plans are usually 3 years. That's really all we can hope for. So let us know what you know.
3 years to be consistent with other permits and orders is perfectly reasonable to me. We sometimes condition that there's signage to go in to say, restoration area, and it's not to be altered.
yes,
It's something you might consider.
we've done that kind of thing.
In terms
That's
of
good.
the property, though, I'm not sure about the agreement. I think that would just have to get meted out in conversation with the condo association. I mean,
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's too big a leap to kind of turn this over to staff and have this move forward without seeing the agreement that seems to be being worked on at this moment. What's your thoughts on that, David Morgan?
I don't know. I think Jackie and I could make sure that the agreement includes access or a commitment by the condo association to maintain it if that's the route that it goes. There are probably only a couple of options for how it would go down, so if we can anticipate those, I think we could sign off on it.
Sure. Any other questions or concerns from the commission yeah, I would add into that any motions to accept this plan and to allow David to work with the applicant and the people of 66R and the consultants to make sure what we see here tonight is going to be implemented on site, and also work on the maintenance agreement, ensuring that we're getting at least 3 years, if not more.
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second it.
David White seconds. So Brian McBride,
Yes,
David Kaplan,
Yes.
David White,
Yes,
and Chuck Teroni says yes. So at least David Morgan, rewrite well, not even at least, but you're going to rewrite the enforcement order anyways. But let us see that version, not before it's agreed upon, but just to make sure that what we said here tonight is actually in it. So that's the only step that I would add to that. So, all right.
Very good, thanks.
Yeah. Al, any questions, Al or Nicole?
I'll say that I'll be in touch with David Morgan, to discuss, the preparation and helping on the maintenance agreement. And I'll be in touch with the condominium association also to get it done.
All right. And so just realize on this, not Al, I'm sure he knows, but this is an enforcement order. It's not appealable. It's a local action, and it needs to be closed out. So when the 3 years are up, there's going to be some monitoring. We're going to get in there. That's going to be part of the enforcement order to make sure that things are growing and being taken care of. You will want to come back and have this closed out. All right. That's it. And going to move on to something else. So thank you very much.
Okay. Well,
Thanks.
thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
evening.
Yep. Thank you
All
for
of
the
you.
work.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. So as I see it, the agenda is complete at this point. I don't think I missed anything. So if there's anyone attending tonight's, and of course there's not, because I can see everyone, anyone attending tonight's meeting, if they have something else to add, citizens open forum, being none. Any other comments from commission members? And otherwise, can I get a vote to adjourn?
So Chuck, I
Good
had,
short meeting. Let's adjourn.
Yeah. And second, great. Everyone wave their hand in
Hang on,
agreement.
Brian's got something to say.
Were you
Oh,
waving
darn.
goodbye or waving that you had
Yeah,
a
we
question?
are trying to get,
you're gonna kill me because this is probably something annoying, but
Oh,
so I don't know, I saw this announcement on the MWRA plan for the CSO.
I'm losing you, Dave. Brian, can you speak up?
Oh, yeah, that's funny. How about now? Is this any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, sorry. So I saw this announcement from the Save the Alewife Brook folks about the MWRA's plan for the CSOs, and it struck me just as wholly inadequate.
yes, it is.
Only David knows, but not right. David's right here. Yeah. So I don't know. It made me think: is there anything we could do as a conservation commission? And this is really just floating an idea that may be good or may not be good for future consideration. Just putting this in people's thought process. Susan and Chuck and David saw my note, which was: is there anything we could do? Here clearly they're degrading and harming a habitat which is within our jurisdiction, harming wildlife and fish and so forth with just dreadful pollution, right? Do we have any leverage to call hearings or potentially implement fines or put some kind of resistance against this dreadful, probably the worst pollution in town, right? Is there anything we can do? That's really my
Only
question.
sewage.
The
The
sewage,
only
right?
sewage in town.
It's like a developing nation somewhere in Africa or something. It's horrible. So anyway, I don't need to have an answer now, but I thought I would put it in front of commissioners to start to think about. Maybe it's a bad idea, maybe it's a good one. I just wanted to table it.
Others are involved, those in town, including the select board and the town manager. So people are moving, trying to make things better. And the elected officials are involved too. They're
Yeah.
meeting with state officials. So there's a lot of pressure in various directions to do a better job.
Yeah. But it seems, David, they came back with something inadequate, right? All this pressure on
It's
them.
inadequate. Everybody knows that, and they're going to push for changes.
Yeah. And maybe we can do something as a Concom. I don't know. Anyway, that's it.
The state is also on their case.
Yeah.
DEP.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I think we'll, I guess we can, discuss it. Why don't you bring it up again at the next meeting? And we'll make sure that that letter is in the packet. And maybe we can discuss what to do. I don't have any ideas. I know David, as the administrator in this town, probably knows. I mean, like, I know everything there is to know about in my town that I work in. And even though I live here, there's things that I miss. So I would say David might know more about this than any of the commission members at this point. David Morgan, do you know what we could do? Is there something that you think we could do, or is everything you know of being done and we just need to monitor the situation for the time being?
Well, it depends on how things go at town meeting with our bylaw changes, but if we put more muscle behind ticketing and fining, that's a possible avenue, I think. I would actually need to consult with some folks who are savvier on the legal issues around that, because presumably they have a permit but not one under the act. So the relationship between other legislation and wetlands law is at issue. It would be difficult. I think it would be a hard sell politically, and as things are progressing, I'm not sure poking MWRA in the eye over it or our neighboring communities would be the best move, but nevertheless, that's where my mind went when Brian suggested it, and there is that option. I think it's kind of a nuclear option, but it is there.
It's
Oh,
basically
you were
a
going to
health
say write a
issue.
letter.
But let me say also the watershed associations are very active in trying to oppose a plan too. Both Mystic River and Charles River are involved in trying to get a better
Yeah,
plan.
that certainly is a nuclear option there, David Morgan.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like, other people who are closer to this issue have been at it for longer. They would have hit upon an idea like this already if it was feasible, I would think. So take what I say with a grain of salt, and keep it in the back of your mind for later, maybe.
Yeah. It's just they're dumping sewage in a river. It's like that calls for something dramatic. It's like a pretty offensive thing to do.
So, I mean, like, what would be the procedure then? They get fined. We're saying they need a permit to do it, so they come in and seek a notice of intent for altering Alewife Brook with CSOs on the regular, and the commission presumably denies it. It gets appealed to DEP.
Part of the problem is the CSOs are from Cambridge and Somerville.
Exactly. So you're just going head to head with
I mean, there's
better
also a cleanup
resourced opponents.
on the brook on Earth Day. People are welcome to come to.
Yeah. It's just hard to see Somerville saying, well, we have the right to dump sewage in your river. It's fine, actually. I don't know why you're worried, It's just such a ludicrous thing.
I don't think anybody wants to. It's just
It's
just so prohibitively, expensive and hard and technologically hard and to develop and construct those alternatives that, either like the deep tank storage or, the diversions or any kind of, I don't know, it's just there.
Yeah.
They've reached
or something, right?
Yeah.
They've reached a point of where it's just not cost effective, and it's a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
I suggest you reach out to the Mystic River website and the Alewife Brook website and Charles River website. They've updated information on what's going on.
Yeah. I just want to do something.
There's probably things you can do, but I'm not sure the commission is too much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to bring it up and kick it around. Maybe we can kick it around again. Maybe after David, the bylaws get changed. Maybe that's a good marker for some months in the future.
Don't chain yourself to an outfall during a rainstorm. That's not recommended.
Yeah, you might want to reach out to Myra. I mean, like was suggested, and
Mystic River watershed, yeah.
And see if there's something
they're involved.
Just shooting it back and forth, and then maybe bring a suggestion back to the commission, because it doesn't sound like we can come up with something that's politically viable. So
that's Myra recommendation.
Yeah. So
sounds good.
Let's maybe that's something that you can spend some time on, and then if you have anything, let us know. We'll add it to the agenda and give you some time to talk to the commission.
Sounds good,
What do you think, Brian?
Offer a 5-second update?
Sure.
I'm being told that the warrant article concerning 0 Reed Street has been determined that the town doesn't own that land, and so it's a non-starter. It'll be dead on arrival at town meeting.
Who owns the land?
One less.
Not
Good.
sure yet. I have some more asking around to do, but
so it's private. Is that what they're saying? Oh, you don't know yet.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, that was dead on arrival anyways, because even if all
Yes.
that happened, it had a lot to do with the Conservation Commission, and we looked at our regulations, and there was no area on that property based on our current regulations that would allow any alteration. So, all right, well, that's good news, David. Anything else, or do I dare ask that?
Nope.
Are we ready to go?
Dare
Everyone,
ask, yeah.
let's get a motion to adjourn and follow through.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Great, everybody. Bye now.
Now we really adjourn.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Right.